Thank you all for joining us tonight. We hope that you and your families are healthy and safe, and our prayers are with those who need a refuah, and our hearts go out to all those who have lost a loved one. I'm Neil Cohen, chair of tonight's event. The Teach Coalition is vital to the Jewish people, and tonight we would like you to understand exactly why.
Thank you for joining Teach Coalition as we pay tribute to our schools and parents. It's been a challenging few months to say the least, as COVID-19 has altered reality for families in all sorts of ways. Teach Coalition is committed to building strong, secure, and more affordable Jewish day schools so that every Jewish student can have the Jewish education they deserve. In the last 6 years, we have delivered almost $1 billion in government funds to our schools in 6 states. When the pandemic started, we took everything we learned and put it to work to help our schools and families receive the services and funds necessary to meet the challenges of the pandemic. With our world in crisis, our schools and our parents have stepped up and revealed new levels of greatness. Since we work with hundreds of day schools and yeshivot across the country, we experience this on a daily basis. It is our honor as an organization to support these schools and educators. Yes, these days, educators include you, parents. Day school administrators, teachers, and now parents, you are the pillars of Jewish education, and we applaud you. You have all been thrust into new roles, previously unimaginable. You inspire us in our work to support you.
The Teach Coalition is a sole-purpose organization devoted to fighting for safe, affordable, quality Jewish education. That's all that we do. We sit at the intersection of politics and Jewish education. For too long, the Jewish people simply didn't stand up and assert their rights. That time has passed.
Since 2013, Teach Coalition has delivered close to $1 billion in government funding to Jewish schools in states such as New York, New Jersey, Florida, Pennsylvania, California, and Maryland. Our Teach state teams fight for government funding for historic programs, including record funding for school security, first of its kind STEM funding, funding for nursing aid, funding for tax credits, funding for remedial services, important funding that our K-12 students need in our states. And these states represent 90% of the Jewish day school world in America.
What's been most rewarding about teaching STEM is preparing students for a future. 51% of jobs that exist today could be automated tomorrow. That means that we have to think about how we're teaching our students. We have to think about the skills that we're teaching them.
I think it's very difficult that sometimes we have to make the most difficult of decisions, choosing between how we allocate our dollars between security and academic excellence. That should not be a choice that any school has to make.
Now students are going to create a digital temperature sensor so that they can find where oil spills are occurring based on temperature. This allows students to connect the real world with what's going on in our STEM lab.
Since 2011, that Step Up and Teach Florida has been helping us to get this scholarship. We have grown more than 50%.
Having my kids in a Jewish school, coming home every day, light up, tell me about the Shabbat and the Chagim, and me knowing also that they get the academics, general studies that we want, it's amazing.
Today is an historic day. New Jersey is committing $150 per child in every parochial school throughout the state. That's 150,000 children who will benefit from this allocation.
Crafting a rich, engaging, and cutting-edge STEM curriculum that's taught by highly trained and qualified teachers costs money. Thanks to the efforts of Teach NYS, we have been able to continue to expand, enhance, and enrich our STEM program and offerings.
I remember before the state funding where there was a tremendous pressure every 2 weeks to make payroll. Thanks to Teach Florida, we now have a little bit of breathing room. We were able to focus on growing educational opportunities for all of our students.
This past year, EULA girls received the California Non-for-Profit Security Grant. which Teach CA was critical in passing in the legislature, and that will have a huge impact on our school's security moving forward. We're tremendously thankful for the incredible work that Teach CA has done to increase the funding for the security grant program here in California.
There has never been a national organization like the Teach movement, because the resources necessary to provide both the information to government officials and the perspective of our community, as well as get out the votes, has never been around. It requires a lot of work, a lot of people, a lot of money, but it pays off.
Ensuring that every student has the skills they need to pursue their dreams also means ensuring that they have the tools they need for a world-class education. I commend Teach NJ for preventing us in public office from losing sight of that fact. We will not succeed in this unless all our students have what they need to succeed.
It's not about supporting a religious education system or a public education system. You must support both to have either.
So welcome, my name is Leslie Ostrin. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to jump right in with the first question. What are the greatest challenges your school has faced because of the COVID-19 pandemic? Rabbi Krause, would you like to be the first to address that?
Sure. I guess the question is, how much time do you have?
Certainly in smaller communities where there are fewer Jewish day schools, et cetera, we are very much an afterthought in the eyes of the local municipal governments, state governments, Department of Ed, and Teach PA has played a very, very important role in, kind of shouting and reminding them that there are private schools who are in need of support as well.
Being able to find the right people in government, it took a while to figure out whether it was city government, state government, exactly who we needed to find, but Teach New York State specifically was very helpful.
It would have been almost impossible for us to function without their contacts and their lines of communication, which ultimately proved vital during those early and later days during the PPP. It was critical.
And I think we have to talk and recognize also what's happening to parents. They might be challenged because they themselves are out of a job, or their income has been slashed, or hours have been slashed.
Parents are the backbone of Teach Florida. They vote, they talk to their elected officials, and they stand up to be counted when it's necessary. But now, under COVID-19, our parents are not just parents. They're educators, they're coaches, they're 24/7 caretakers.
As a parent, I have always felt so fortunate to live in a place with so many great schools for my children. As a professional, having the opportunity to work directly with so many incredible heads of school, administrators, teachers, and staff, I feel an entirely new level of appreciation for how fortunate we really are.
אני עוברת מילד לילד, הנה מדעים, הנה מתמטיקה, הנה חלאס, גם איפה אני יודעת את כל הדברים האלה? עכשיו הילדים שלנו יעלו עלינו כמה אנחנו סתומים.
Hi, my name is Shiri Levi. I'm a special education teacher and a comedian here in Israel, and that is all you are going to hear from me in English. נקלענו לסיטואציה לא פשוטה בקורונה הזאת, הסגר והבידוד, כולם עם מסכות וכפפות, מקלחות עם אלכוג'ל ומה לא, והכי גרוע שהילדים איתנו בבית. חבר'ה, זה היה הדבר הכי קשה, בואו נודה באמת.
Tonight is about you. Tonight is about our parents, our activists, our community members, our schools, our school administrators, all of the people that come together to help us do the work that we do at Teach Coalition. Thank you for all that you do for us, that you will continue to do for us, and all that you will do for Klal Yisrael.
I encourage parents to be involved in the Teach NYS program because it allows parents to give back to the schools, and it allows parents to give back to the Teach NYS program. The more parents that are involved, the more networking that can be accomplished, and that the parents can see firsthand the work that's done behind the scenes, both in and out of the school.
Our parents are amazing. Anytime we need them to complete an action alert or volunteer at an event, in addition to all of their other responsibilities in life, they do it because they understand the importance of our movement.
Not just financially, but even for people to know that they've got a place to go in the middle of the day to pick up lunch. Everyone's got everyone at home and the homeschooling, and many are teachers themselves are trying to keep their work and professional life going in a positive direction, and to know that they don't have to worry about a wonderful lunch ready and waiting for all the children, the family, is amazing. It's just a huge weight off of people's mind. It's a tremendous help.
Specifically this year with COVID-19 ravaging through our community of Crown Heights, we were not sure whether we'd be able to get the federal Homeland Security grant in time. So they put 3 staffers on our case in an emergency situation, and Baruch Hashem, we met the deadline with less than an hour to spare.
Here's our great CBS crew putting the lunches together for all children who need, and our incredible volunteers, because it's so important to make sure that all kids have a nutritious meal and snack every day in these challenging times.
We are grateful to Teach PA and the Teach Coalition for their incredible efforts in helping securing valuable funding for day schools, from scholarships, from tax credits, to security funding, all the way to free lunch during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Senator Kaminsky, what are you doing here today?
We're making sure that people of the 5 towns have food for their families. 5 food groups for lunch and 3 food groups for breakfast every single day.
I don't even know where to begin. You know, it's so hard to be connected to your district or to the schools that you invest in. So when you put money into a budget and you hear it goes to a program and it goes to STEM and it goes to a non-public school, at the end of the day, the door closes, you go home. But when you get to walk into a school and see all your efforts come to fruition, it's beautiful.
We would not be able to do any of these programs and more without the significant state funding that we receive.
Jewish education, as you know, is very expensive and something that was very important to us. And as we applied last year for the scholarship and eventually got taken off the wait list, it was a huge relief to us to be known that we would have that additional assistance from the state.
This past June, our school graduated its first class and is required by the state of New York. We had to go through an application process in order to be officially registered in the state. And throughout the whole process, before any of this even started, we found Teach NYS to be incredibly helpful. And when this did start and New York had to go into this pause mode and to quarantine, we found that Teach NYS still remained to be super helpful.
I'm always impressed with how organized and focused Maury and his entire team are, and how well they communicate to all their activists how to achieve success.
One of the strongest attributes of the Jewish community is how we're stronger in our numbers and we're stronger when we work together. And Teach Florida has really done such an incredible job at getting all types of schools and different communities that normally work in kind of isolation in their own Dalit Amot to really work together and advocate together for the causes that we all deeply care about for all of our children.
Education, 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 that's what it's all about. That's what made New York, New York. That's what made America, America.
What we've seen since the 2016 election is that the power to change policy, the power to change our government, the power to move mountains is with the people. It is literally about all of you. Powered by the mousetrap.
אני רוצה לפנות באמת להורים, למנהלים, למורים כמובן, להגיד לכם שעשינו את זה, אנחנו עושים זאת, וגם נעשה את זה בעתיד, כי אנחנו חזקים ואנחנו יכולים. אתם יודעים, אני חושבת על זה שהילדים שלנו יהיו בעוד כמה שנים מורים בעצמם, וישאלו אותנו על הקורונה, על המגפה ב-2020, איך עשינו ומה עשינו. אני חושבת שיהיה לנו הרבה דברים טובים להגיד להם. כי בזכות עבודה מאוד מאוד קשה, בסופו של דבר, הצלחנו לעשות את הטוב ביותר. והקורונה עוד תיכנס לדפי ההיסטוריה, אין לי ספק בזה. אני מאחלת לכולנו שנמשיך להיות חזקים, שנחזור לשגרה כמה שיותר מהר, שנהיה בריאים כמובן, ויאללה, לשגרה. ילדים, לכו לבית ספר ולגן כבר. נשיקות מישראל.
If parenting was not already difficult, with the onset of COVID-19, it just got much more complicated. Remote learning works for some kids and not for others, not to mention the availability of devices and all kinds of other challenges. Many of our families and friends are suffering from the disease itself. which is compounded by the financial, emotional, and spiritual impact of the quarantine and economic shutdown. Whether you're working or unemployed, we see you. Whether you're parenting and working full-time or a stay-at-home parent, we see you. We see the challenges our schools are facing, adapting to remote learning on a dime, working to teach to a wide range of learning styles and levels while managing the school's financial future. We are here for you. Your challenges are our challenges. Teach Coalition is fighting to ensure that during this trying time, we provide you with the support that you need to make this time a little easier.
In general, yeshiva tuitions are roughly $3 billion in the tri-state New York State region. We roughly have been successful in securing roughly $150 million, roughly 50% of the $300 million that we talk about for yeshiva tuitions. We need to be able to drive that further. We need to make it bigger. We need to be able to take a real bite out of yeshiva tuition affordability, somewhere in the 20-25% range, to be able to show parents that we're making a difference.
If we want our students to be successful, if we want our students to be those leaders, we need to give them the proper skills to be those future leaders in society. They're the ones who are going to change the world.
We are working around the clock, fighting for kosher meals, for access to technology, and are providing guidance to schools to navigate the many forms and relief funding that has been out there on a state and federal level. There's still so much more to do. We need your help to continue to fight for our schools and families, and to make sure that every child has access to a strong, secure Jewish education. Every occupation needs computers. Engineering is a processing of math. To be able to create, to take a science project and actually work on it with your school and your school friends, to make that project come to fruition is what this is all about. To bring that type of education is something that I will advocate every day for.
Our teachers have very creative ideas. Our students are even more creative. And it would seem to be a shame to limit that creativity because of a lack of funding.
We launched this campaign 72 hours ago and are almost at our goal, but we need you to help us get to the finish line. Your donation of any size will make a difference for hundreds of thousands of students across the country. Make your donation now at teachcoalition.org/tribute.
The financial model is in peril, and the costs of a Jewish education have sadly limited the amount of children being born into our community.
We became involved with Teach Advocacy first in New York, now in New Jersey, when we met the unbelievably passionate and committed full-time staff members who work tirelessly to fight for our fair share in the state governments.
During these times, the challenges are nowhere near as great as the opportunities we have, and particularly to reset the future of our yeshiva system.
We are here tonight because it is imperative that we continue to fight for the cause of affordable, quality Jewish education. That is the job of the Teach Coalition. We are out there fighting for our future, for our people. We want our kids to be the best that they can be, and we need help. Please join us as we fight the fight. We ask for your support.
There is much more work to be done to support our children in school. And to do that, we need you. To vote in every election, to build deeper connections with elected officials, to donate your time. You don't have to do everything, but everyone can do something.
Yesterday, we built a movement. Today, we raise our voices. And tomorrow depends on you.